Get your hooves into this cracking offer from Paddy Power. It's money back as a free bet on all losers if the starting price favourite wins on at least one race every day of the Punchestown Festival. Find out each day's race online at paddypower.com. Max free bet £10. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Hello everyone and welcome to Punchestown, where strange things happen at this fantastic festival. There will be many winners to be found on the Thursday Day 3 card, and joining myself, Lee Modsted, to try and find them, we've got from the Racing Post, Brian Sheeran, Postcast friend Brendan Duke, and from our sponsors, Paddy Power, Mr. Paul Binfield. And before we go any further, Mr. Paul Binfield would like it to be known that the storyteller was his selection for the Big Novice Chase on Tuesday, on Monday in the podcast and the Postcast. And Paul, you are of course adamant that he would have won anyway. Yeah, all those antics from the horses in front of him, I'm sure he would have won without any question anyway, Lee. It's remarkable really that in all the fallout on Tuesday evening, the fact that he was your selection didn't get more coverage. Yeah, well, you wrote the report in the Racing Post, Lee, and you knew this fact, and I'm extremely disappointed that it didn't get a mention. Right. But listen, we're giving it a mention now. Yeah, it wasn't in the stewards report either. Oh, I can't believe it. No, what's going on? Disappointing. Racing in Ireland has gone downhill, Lee. Well, that's quite a strong statement. I don't think one I would necessarily agree with, but Ben, that's what you feel, then that's what you feel. We'll start today with the handicap hurdle that kicks off the card on Thursday, the JLT handicap hurdle. Paul Binfield, the floor is yours. Yeah, Paddy's giving a very generous extra place with 5 places each way. We've only got prices on the grade ones at this moment in time, although later in the day we will have every race. I'm going to go for Park Paddocks, Gordon Elliott, Davy Russell, an easy winner at Cork last time, 2 miles on soft ground, and I really like the fact that he settled much better that day. Good, excellent. Brendan, before we crack on with your tip for the first race on day 3, how did day 1 treat you?
I lost very slightly, which I felt was quite an achievement. So I was happy with how day 1 went. Yeah, kick on now. Yeah, and day 3, first race? I had a look at this race, and I won't actually be watching it, never mind betting on it. What will you be doing instead? I think I might have a nice cup of coffee. You could watch it and have a cup of coffee at the same time. No. I think this race is just too difficult, and some things shouldn't be seen by my eyes, so I won't be watching this race. And moving on to Brian, will you be watching it?
I'll definitely be watching it. I'll probably be doing some sort of a report on it or featuring into the Talk of the Tracks. I suppose I'd put one up at an each-way price, might be Lil Shane. Doesn't win very often, but you're getting to 5 places with a certain Paddy Power, so that might be the one each way. Doesn't win very often, as I said, but might fill the frame, but very difficult. Okay, we move from a difficult race 1 to what's probably a difficult race 2, Brendan. The pigsback.com handicap chase. Will you be watching this one?
I certainly will, and I think I'll be having a bet, and it's very interesting because I could perfectly understand why after the hiding they shipped at Cheltenham, English trainers would be reluctant to go on an away mission.
It was very difficult for us.
Very difficult for us, but as you well know, Lee, Hawks are renowned for their vision, and I think Nigel has picked out a little Jaffa.
Oh, see what you did there. That's good, that is.
Oh, thanks very much. I wrote that down. But he's picked out a great spot for Speradek, because this isn't much of a race. Yeah. And I mean, Speradek now, he's inclined to cloud a fence, but he can get into a really impressive rhythm, and he could take these horses out of their comfort zone. Class should tell here. I mean, he got within 7 lengths of Undeso. I'm not sure there's any other horse in this race should be in the same stable block as Undeso. No. I expect Speradek to win, and I'll be backing him. And to do it Undeso from the front? Yes. Gallop him into the ground. Exactly. Win easily. Oh, you said there it. You go, you see. Brian?
I like Sunset to Rise here for Gordon Elliott. Now, it has gone up a lot in the weight since it's joined Elliott, but you know, he is just a magician with getting these horses and improving them stones at times. This horse, I don't think he stayed the 2-6 in the Ladies National when under Nina Carberry was beaten by Flemington, but he had that horse behind him the last 8 Navan. I think the return to 2 miles will suit, and he's a good jumper as well, so he's my hopeful selection again.
Hopeful selection, and then the beautifully branded Mr. Binfield. Well, I'm going to go with Brendan, actually. Brendan was always one of our shrewdest traders, if not the best looking trader. And I'll go with Speradek. I agree, the form behind Undeso is brilliant, and the great thing about him is he's brilliant right-handed, so I think Punchestown will be right up his alley. Excellent, so 2 votes for Speradek. 5 places each way, sorry, I forgot to mention, my bosses will be on to me. 5 places. 5 places each way. 5 places each way, courtesy of
Paddy Power.
Paddy Power. That was part 1. Part 2 comes up in a second.
Get your hooves into this cracking offer from Paddy Power. It's money back as a free bet on all losers if the starting price favourite wins on at least one race every day of the Punchestown Festival. Find out each day's race online at paddypower.com. Max free bet £10. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Be gambleware.org.
Welcome back, everyone, to our Racing Postcast, looking ahead to day 3 at the Punchestown Festival. And race 3 is in some ways the most iconic of all Punchestown contests, the Latouche Cup, the most famous of all the Banks races. And Brian Enderbolger, again, with his typically strong challenge, will one of Enders win it?
Yeah, he's throwing everything at it, isn't he? And there was a time you come to Punchestown and you just back end the blind, but he hasn't been kind of firing on all cylinders in these kind of races of late, because you've got the likes of Gordon and even Willie contesting them. Gordon's Bless the Wings is very interesting, 3rd in an international, whether that, I don't know what it was, it must be 20-something days ago, but yeah, if he can, I know they were thinking about actually retiring this horse before he won at Cheltenham at the back end of last year, but yeah, he's getting on. But I suppose, over not, he got his weight or age on his side, but he's a hefty weight. I probably might just side with him, with Donny McInerney taking a few pounds off his back. So that's another hopeful section. Don't worry, we'll warm up once we get into the better action later on in the card.
Brian will warm up soon. Brendan, I'm going to be quite controversial. Say, I don't think this looks a particularly strong running of the Latouche Cup. Your views?
I couldn't agree more. I was scratching around. Auvergnat, I thought, was tough given the way. Josie's Orders maybe stays the trip well and has Nina, so a tentative selection for Josie's Orders.
And Brendan, you are related to a trainer, so you can give us a trainer's perspective on something. Do you think Willie Mullins will be looking at this race and thinking, why have I not got a Banks horse this season? Because Gordon's in there with Bless the Wings. You know, it could well be that the Latouche prize money swings things in Gordon's favour come the end of the day.
Well, I think Willie has been playing catch-up with Gordon all the time. I think next season you might see him be more aggressive at the start of the season, because Gordon just keeps getting a jump on him, and then he's having to claw him back with a desperate roadrunner dash, and he may not get him back this year. So I'd say he will change up, and maybe, but I mean, you're getting into meta stuff when you're talking about the prize money for Banks races.
Well, yeah, but I mean, could we see York Hill in the Latouche next season?
I don't think York Hill would fancy the. Well, I wouldn't fancy riding York Hill around, but then these jockeys are a breed apart, I suppose. So.
This is very true. Yeah, Binish, you've not priced up the Latouche either, have you?
Not yet. We will later today. I'm just copying Brendan blind, to be fair. I'm going Josie's Orders. A bit disappointing at Cheltenham, pulled up at Fairyhouse, but only beating a fag paper here by Auvergnat here in February. And always runs a good race at Punchestown.
Excellent. Okay, right, Paul, this is where you're going to come into your own, because you do have prices on the Ladbrokes Champion Stayers Hurdle. Run down the card.
We do indeed, Lee. Yeah, we go 15 to 8 Penhill, then it's 7 to 2 Bacardi's, 9 to 2 Identity Thief, who ran so well at Aintree, 8 Diamond Gauchois and Foheen, and it's 14 Bar. Okay,
I'll tell you what, you're on a roll, so give us your assessment of the race.
Well, I'm going to go for an outsider each way, Lee. I'm going to go for La Bague au Roi for Warren Great Tricks and Harry Bannister. She's had a wind up since Cheltenham. She ran a good race there, and the trainer now thinks she wants 3 miles. She looked the winner there at one stage, made a hash of the last. Richard Johnson thought something was amiss. And Warren won the race 2 years ago with One Track Mind. I think this is a Group 1, Grade 1 winner waiting to happen, and hopefully this will be the day.
Okay, I thought that's an unexpected selection, I think, from Paul there. Would you give La Bague au Roi a big chance?
I wouldn't, but I think she's interesting for the race because she could put the pace to the race. It's either her or possibly Foheen, but he's stepping up in trip. But I think the pace of the race is important, that we don't see a rerun of the Stayers Hurdle in Cheltenham.
Which was a ridiculous race.
Ridiculous race. And they were all inconvenienced to a degree, I'll grant you, Lee, but few inconvenience as much as Bacardi's.
Yes.
He was shuffled around in the run. He's a horse that looks like he wants every yard of this, although it was his first attempt at 3 miles. I think this will be run at a stronger pace. And I hope he's given a more aggressive ride and ridden handier, because I think all he does is stay. I think he can turn the form around with Penhill if that's the case.
And falling in the final flight didn't help him either.
No, but it was a silly fall. He just overpitched. I thought he'd nearly have been second if it wasn't for that.
He was staying on,
he was staying on. He was staying on, yeah.
So you think this could be another one for Patrick?
Yes, indeed, yeah.
Given a good week.
He's having a good. Well, he got some tune out of the UDS yesterday. Didn't he? What a round!
The UDS.
Yeah,
I've not heard that before. I like that.
Yeah, okay. But I mean, he is a good jumper anyway. But I haven't seen him jump as well as that in a long time.
Yeah. Fabulous ride. It's a really good competitive race, this, Brian, isn't it?
Yeah, that's music to my ears because I'm beginning to warm up, Lee. I like Bacardis, and I might have one or two later on if he does the business. But no, more of a gym man, actually, to be honest with you. But yeah, Bacardis, he's had a horrible season, but he is a dual grade woman in novice hurdler. I think he would have definitely been in the frame, like Brendan said. He jumped fences at the start of the season, and he didn't actually have a prep run going into the stairs hurdle, so that wasn't ideal. But yeah, I think he might just have his eye in by the time this race is run tomorrow.
Guys, what do we think about Faheen? I mean, a fascinating runner. We know he stays because he's won over 3 miles as a novice. Is the ability still there for him to win a Grade 1 now, upped in distance, or is he just a lighter former days?
Well, you could make a case for him on a couple of bits of form. The Super Sunday bit of form, obviously his comeback run when he went into favour for the champion hurdle. Those couple of bits of form, it's definitely worth an experiment. I mean, when you look at a Nichols Canyon type stepping up from 2 miles, did the business at 3 miles. Identity Thief did it at Aintree. It could be I wouldn't put you off, Lee. Yeah.
Okay, and not much love in this room or on these steps for Penhill, seemingly.
Well, it's more at the price. It's just I don't think it should be half the price of Bacardis.
You'd agree?
Well, Willie actually said that he was going to improve for Cheltenham, so in that theory, he could possibly be very difficult to beat. But yeah, it's going to be factored into the price. He's going to be short. He's going to be less than 2 to 1. So I'd rather side with Bacardis. Yeah.
Okay, so votes here for Bacardi and Le Bag Owa in the Champion Stayers Hurdle. We will move on in a few moments.
Get your hooves into this cracking offer from Paddy Power. It's money back as a free bet on all losers if the starting price favourite wins on at least one race every day of the Punchestown Festival. Find out each day's race online at paddypower.com. Max free bet £10. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Welcome back to the steppings of the main grandstand here at Punchestown. We talk on the cusp of day 2 of the festival. We're looking ahead to day 3 of the festival with Paul Binfield, Brendan Duke, Brian Sheeran and myself, Lee Mottershead. And the 5th race on day 3 is a 3-mile Alanna Holmes handicap hurdle. Brian, it does not look easy.
Not easy, and there's one horse in there that I have nightmares about, Glen Lowe, and most people would, but of course, maybe mightn't have been Barry Geraghty's finest moment at Cheltenham when he was just pipped in the Pertemps, but I think he might be able to make amends here.
Brendan?
Yes, I think it's between Glenlow and a Great View. That is strong form, that Pertemps form. 2 well-handicapped horses fought out the finish, and a Great View would have been 3rd probably, but for the mistake at the second last. It would depend on the prices. I'll probably go for a Great View because Glenlow has a lot of fans. He's always well backed, this horse. So I'll probably go for a Great View depending on the prices.
Paul, have you got a big odds for us?
Well, listen, Paddy's generosity knows no bounds, and we're going 6 places each way on this. But I'll go for Last Goodbye for Liz Doyle and Adam Short. Adam takes a valuable £5 off, reverts to hurdles. The horse is only rated 136 over timber, compared to 147 over the bigger obstacles. Okay,
excellent. And how is Paddy's generosity being shown in the Grade 1 Ryanair Novices Chase?
Well, he's being very generous and giving punters 1 to 2 about footpad, Lee. And then we go 5 to 1 Petit Mouchoir, 7 Castle Grace Paddy, 16 Asturia and Optimus Prime, and it's 20 bar.
Okay, and so how generous do you think 2's on is? What price do you think he should be if Paddy was not a man of such extreme generosity?
He should be at least 4 to 9, shouldn't he, Lee?
So they're a quarter of a point difference.
Well, listen, 1 to 2. I never tip up favourites, but I can't see this getting beaten. I think 2 miles is perfect on heavy ground. He beat Petit Mouchoir 5 lengths in the Irish Arc, and I just can't see him getting toppled.
Lads, that would appear to be a pretty persuasive view. Can either of you see footpad being in any way vulnerable here, Brian?
No, but I can put one up against him to finish second to him, Yep. Castle Grace Paddy. Now, he needs to step forward a lot, but I was doing a preview at the beginning of the week and I spoke to Pat Fahey, and I just, when I was finished talking about the certain horse we were talking about, I just happened to ask him, were you looking forward to the week? And normally trainers are in a hurry to get off the phone. But Pat Fahey, who's already a winner yesterday in a bumper, he was absolutely waxing lyrical about this horse. And now he does have to step up a bit, but I think he'll give the footpad the most to think about anyway.
Finish, remind us what price you're about him?
So, which horse are you talking about? Sorry, Lee. 7-1. So that could be a bit of each way value.
Well, that was Brian's case.
Yeah, well, without footpad. Finished second to footpad, yeah.
Bound to shorten now that Brian Sheeran fancies it as well.
Yeah. No. And Brendan?
Yes, I would agree with Brian, basically. I think footpad will win. The only case the layers have to make against him was that bad mistake he made in Cheltenham, but he still managed to overcome it and win. He is a fine jumper, and I thought Castle Grace Paddy would chase him home.
Okay. 2 races left. Been you just creeped into my camera shot.
Terribly
that's
sorry. I'm
sort
just a bit worried about falling down the grandstand here.
I don't want not to be seen.
No, quite so.
Thank you. The 7:15 is the listed mares novices hurdle. Brendan.
Well, this Glenn's Harmony, should I say, she looks quite promising. Decent bumper mare. Won on her at odds on her hurdles debut. Beat a relatively solid sort in that Tara Dillon. Jumped well. Should step forward here, and if she does, that'll probably be enough.
Okay. Brian.
I'm a small bit of a fan of this Dawn Shadow. She's trained locally to me by Dot Love, but stepping back in trip is a little bit of a worry. But she is from a family that kind of progress with time, so hopefully she might fill it for him.
Okay, so would Dot then be your most local trainer?
Not the most local trainer, but she is local. Yeah, she's Mullingar in Westmeath. We've got a few local trainers there, which is actually surprising because there's not much going on in Westmeath. So.
Who would be your most local trainer?
Martin Lynch is my local trainer now. He hasn't had much success recently, but he had a horse called Oscar Time, which once finished second to Ballabriggs in an Intrigant National, so he's about 2 minutes up the road, so he's my local trainer. Okay,
well, send our regards. And Binners, your views on the race?
4 places each way, Lee. I'm going to go for Moy Kenner, trained and ridden by Dennis Hogan. The horse is 2 from 2 at Punchestown, including a maiden hurdle in January. Found 1-2 good in a Grade 3 at Limerick a couple of goes ago and wasn't disgraced when entering Handicap company for the first time last time.
Okay, excellent. And we end with the 18th bumper of the meeting so far. Paul Binfield, who wins it?
I'm going to go for Rio Vivas for Willie Mullins. Easy winner at Navan in March. Showed more maturity there than on his previous runs. He'd had a big break before that and just pick up a few quid for Willie in his great battle with Gordon Elliott.
And a great battle it is too. Brendan Duke.
I'll go for this Castlebawn West. It was interesting. It was well backed on debut in Navan, finished last of 4. But the horse they expected to see that day turned up at Clonmel in a rampant display. And it is. I like
using the word rampant.
Yeah.
Rampant trainer for an informed trainer. I like.
It just plays on the lips, doesn't it?
Local trainer, isn't it?
Most local.
Oh,
trainer.
most local.
We don't want to talk about the most rampant local trainer. Just rampant trainer. What were you saying?
No, it just plays on the lips. It's just a lovely word, isn't it? Rampant. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But back to this bumper and Castlebawn West for me.
Cool. And Brian.
Get a reason to advertise Downpatrick form yet again on the big stage.
Downpatrick to Punchestown. Yeah. The only way. Okay, guys, what are then your best bets for day 3 of the festival? Brian.
Bacardi's.
Brendan?
Because Bacardi's has been taken, I will say Speredek.
Would you said Bacardi's if it hadn't been taken?
It would have done.
So in reality we've got 2 for Bacardi's. With an extra 1 for Speredek.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. And Paul?
I'm going to go La Bagro Ra each way, purely so I can show off my supreme knowledge of the French language once again.
Yes, it was like Sacha Distel was stood right next to us. This then was our day 3 preview, which featured a man who tipped the Storyteller to win on Tuesday.
Get your hooves into this cracking offer from Paddy Power. It's money back as a free bet on all losers if the starting price favourite wins on at least 1 race every day of the Punchestown Festival. Find out each day's race online at paddypower.com. Max free bet £10. T's and C's apply. 18+ BGambleAware.org.